Happy Saturday, everyone, and welcome to Movie Couple Live, where we talk about the latest in pop culture and movie news. I'm Dustin.
I'm Wendy.
And good day to all of our critters out there, where today we're going to be talking about how Spiderman has beaten out Avatar in the domestic box office.
And there's a new trailer or commercial for I'm going to call it Star Wars Hotel, but I think the correct name is
the Galactic Star Cruiser.
Don't know the name
and
of it.
Also, we're going to be doing episodes 10, 11, and 12 spoilers for The Legend of Vox Machina.
Spoiler discussions.
Spoiler discussions. But we'll get into that near the end of the show today.
Yes. You guys, welcome. Happy Saturday to everybody, as Dustin says. Sorry that we ran a little bit late. There was a bit of we have do you want to show them?
Oh yeah, we have.
This is we haven't made an official decision yet, but we would like to share with you we like to keep you guys in the loop as far as what we do for the most part, private life stuff. But this is why we were this is why we're running a little late, because we do have a little one. Mm-hmm. That took a lot of our attention today. So this is Olivia, and we are doing a little trial with her to see how her and Navi get along before we make it official.
She's still a little shy.
Is she camera shy all of a sudden?
She is. I'm noticing that she's like, no, she just wants to bury her head right into my lap. And she's like, no, I'm fine right here. You don't have to bring me on camera.
Oh, but your face is so cute. We want to share with everybody.
And I do have to admit, Olivia and I didn't get off to the best of starts because Wendy went out to actually go and pick up Olivia with Navi, and they got along. And
not at the beginning.
What, Olivia?
She was skittish with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because look how little she's little.
And once Wendy brought her home, Navi got a little territorial, I guess. She's like, no, this is all my stuff.
My humans, my couch, my bed,
my toys. But they were starting to at least get used to each other. And then I was at work. As soon as I come home, she loses her shit. She's kind of like, now I have Navi going up here going,
if you want to give me Olivia.
Wait. This is my human. What are you doing? Okay, Miss Navi. So now we've got two little fluff balls here. But so Olivia kind of was first like, who is this? What is going on? I'm in a new place, new people, new dog, another new human. What's going on?
Yeah.
And she kind of freaked out. So we didn't get off to the best on the right of feet, but we're seeming to get on the right paw.
Be here all
but
week.
We are starting to get a little bit better. I did a little bit of bonding time with her. We're trying to. Her name? She came with Olivia. We thinking that we might change it to Olive, just because it's close enough to the name.
But we're not sure. Nothing's settled yet.
Yeah, right now we're not 100% sure. If, right now we're just kind of fostering her. So
it's not fostering, it's a trial.
It's a trial.
It's a trial.
It is a trial.
Yeah.
But just wanted to show you the new little puppy that we have in our household.
Yeah. Black Loki is asking, how old is Olivia? We think she's about 2. She's a Maltese mix. We're thinking she's mixed with the Chihuahua. She's definitely not full Maltese.
No.
And there was another question. Leo says, just give it a treat. Believe it or not, she's not very, as of right now, she's not very food motivated when it comes to treats, even though she wants what's on the human plate.
Oh, yeah.
If we openly give her a treat, she's kind of questioning, like, I don't know, do I want this? So, yeah, it's a little bit of a trial and error. I'm going to put her down so I'm not too distracted, but here you go.
Because
all right.
She's I get it. And also, Miss Navi, we've got a show to do, so say goodbye, everyone. Bye, everybody.
The queen of the house, guys. Queen of the house. All right, so top of the show today, you guys all welcome. We are going to talk about Vox Machina, but we have a couple of news pieces that we do kind of want to go over really quickly. And before we do, thank you so much to Zork, the Dark One, for your super chat.
Thank you so much.
You get a new name today. Hi, Wendy and Richard. Hope you two are having a wonderful day. Zork, hope you're having a wonderful day.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
And honestly, we've gotten off to a good start. So far, so good. And plus we get to spend a lot of time with all of you beautiful people.
Yes.
Talking nerdy stuff, movie news, and of course, the legend of Vox Machina.
Vox Machina.
The season finale. Vox Machina.
All right.
No. You two.
All right, the dogs are being very distracting, so we're going to go ahead and dive into this first piece of news here. Let me go ahead and throw up the news flash. So we're starting off with a little bit of Spider-Man No Way Home news. We all know that a lot of people, and that's putting it lightly, showed up for this movie.
Oh,
during a pandemic, people are like, you know what? I'm gonna mask up and I'm gonna go enjoy this on the big screen in the theater with all the fans.
And that is actually something that is a really good point, is the fact that Spider-Man No Way Home has gotten this far during a pandemic. I'm really curious on what would have happened if we weren't in the situation that we were in, kind of a thing. So I'm very curious on if it would have done better, or since people have been so hey,
what's happening?
What are you two growling at?
What's happening?
Go lay down. Go lay down.
Okay,
oh my gosh.
continue.
But if it worked in its favor or worked in its hindrance, kind of thing, if it would have done better if everyone was free to go out and see it as many millions of times as they want, because I know we probably would have seen it a couple more times if we didn't have to go out and see it in the theaters. But then again, everybody came out for this movie because they've been cooped up for so long that they've been like, I want this kind of movie. I've been dying for this kind of movie, and I'm going to see it no matter what's in my way.
Yeah, it's a fun film. I hope everybody has had an opportunity to see it. If not, it's still in theaters. It's still making money. I wouldn't pull it out of the theaters either. So speaking of which, this is the headline. Spider-Man No Way Home beats Avatar to become third highest grossing movie at, very important to note here, domestic box office. And honestly, that's really, really good. Here's the, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And I was going to say right now, I think worldwide, it's at number 6.
That's pretty free. It hasn't even opened in China yet, I believe.
Oh, really?
I don't think
it has. So it still has a whole nother country to open.
Because like China's release schedule, like they open, there's like seasons for like international films. And then there's other seasons for domestic films in China. I believe that's how it works.
Makes sense. Well, I heard, what is it? Fight Club just recently got released in
Fight Club, like Brad Pitt?
Brad Pitt in China. They did switch the ending a little bit, apparently.
That movie is not new.
Well, no, as in like there was, what is that called? Like a ban on it for so long, and now they've just finally released it.
Yeah.
Kind of it. They just finally released it, and they changed the ending a little bit. So, and they were just, now it's allowed to actually be out in theaters in China. So that's kind of, it's interesting to learn some of these interesting little facts about movie releases, when they release, what are some of the restrictions in different countries and stuff.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, as far as we know, Spider-Man No Way Home has not released in China yet, and it's already number 6 worldwide.
And here are the reported numbers via Deadline from Sony, and it says here directly from Deadline's article, early industry estimates Tuesday morning spotted that Sony's Spider-Man No Way Home finally outstripped the $760.5 million take of James Cameron's 2009 sci-fi spectacle Avatar, becoming the third highest grossing movie of all time at the domestic box office, with a running total of, as of Tuesday, $760.988 million. And Sony has made that figure official. And this comes after a solid 1.615 million Valentine's Day haul when it was shown in 3,300 theaters across the U.S. That's insane. I love that people, because the movie has been out for a little while, but people during Valentine's Day are still like, you want to go see Spider-Man?
Yeah. Because I love it too. And also it's the fact that can be a big Valentine's Day movie, kind of big Valentine's Day movie. And also we're heading on into the President's Day weekend, and it's still out in theaters.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's still going to pull in a big chunk of change.
Yes. So it doesn't surprise me. I'm just really happy, and I would like to see that number grow, honestly, just to see for the long haul, because
I would love if it became number 1 worldwide.
It could. It's Spider-Man. Until Doctor Strange comes out, and then that multiverse is going to shatter everybody's brain. We'll see. We'll see how that happens. I heard, should I talk spoilers about? Yeah, it's old. So
spoilers,
maybe some spoilers if you haven't seen WandaVision, if you haven't seen the trailer for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Spoiler alert for
and
those.
Sorry if we spoiled anything as far as Spider-Man No Way Home, because I didn't think about that. Maybe not.
I don't think we did. I don't think we said anything.
But there was a theory, and I either saw this on TikTok or on YouTube. I can't remember. But depending on, and this is speculation. I think it was Cosmic Wonder. Hi, Warren. I think he said that it's his theory. As of now, where things stand, following the events of No Way Home, Doctor Strange has cast a second spell. Nobody knows who Peter Parker is.
Yeah.
Except maybe one Wanda Maximoff.
Oh, because
she was in her little cabin. She was going through her book, and what does she do? She put up runes.
And
so
no spell would be able to get in.
I think it was Cosmic Wonder who said this. Now I can't remember, but I'm thinking because I've been on his YouTube lately, just kind of checking out what he's saying about the Doctor Strange. So that maybe makes sense for her to be one of the only people on Earth to know who Peter Parker is in respects to him, and who he is and his secret identity being Spider-Man. Not that she's had much interaction with him other than Civil War that we know of. So that's pretty much it. But that's just an interesting, interesting
little tidbit out there.
Yeah.
But she might be the one that actually causes all of these problems in a sense. And I'm so excited for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, because I think this is going to really be the movie that just kicks off everything that goes wrong.
Yeah.
And it's going to introduce the big baddies. I think there's going to be more than one, because they're going to start to diverge a little bit. So this group of Avengers have to go off into the multiverse. This group of Avengers are staying home on Earth. And this group of Avengers is going out into outer space. So they'll have all of these different adventures, and all of them are going to be set up, prepped, and setting up phase 4.
Yes. So excited for what's to come for the rest of the MCU phase 4. And I feel like, in a way, and I talked about this on the John and Wendy show, that maybe via Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, they could be planting the seeds. This is probably the plan for phase 5, maybe even phase 6. Yeah. Because that's how Marvel's was just like the roadmap to everything.
Yeah.
You walk into their secret hideout planning room, wherever that may be, and it's like pins and threads leading to this and that, and it loops back all the way to the first Iron Man, because there was a hint subtly put in that nobody noticed, and then it all makes sense later on, 30 movies later. All right, anyways, let's go ahead and get back on track. We're going to go ahead and dive into the next topic, but before we do have a couple of super chats we would love to get to. This one is from Delta Blaze 77. Thank you so much for your support. Wrote, I found your reaction to The Legend of Vox Machina and really enjoy your reaction.
Thank you.
Looking forward to what is to come. Best wishes. Thank you so much. We are so glad you've been enjoying our reactions. We're going to, and I don't say this ever about filming reactions, because while I love the filming aspect of it, because it's kind of easy to set the camera and go, the editing is what kind of kills me. But I have so much fun editing all 12 episodes of The Legend of Vox Machina season 1. I'm looking forward to doing it again for
I have to
season
admit,
2.
there was some great reactions that we were able to capture, and just moments of, since we had such, I personally think the dynamic of you and me being able to, like, you not knowing the storyline, me knowing the storyline, and it's a lot of fun to react to. They have such great moments in that show that it was just really made itself a great show to watch and to react to.
Yes, absolutely. And so thank you so much to Delta Blaze 77 for your super chat. And I see that Shark Messiah 101 has one as well, but this leads directly into our conversation kind of for our Legend of Vox Machina talk. So I'm gonna hold on to this. So stay put and hang on for just 2 seconds, because I definitely want to get into it.
But there's one more tiny topic that we want to talk about, and then we'll get into.
Yeah, let me just put this here, so I'm gonna make sure I don't lose it. So, here in the movie couple household, we love Marvel, we love DC. Essentially, we love superhero stuff, comic book movies, and things like that. We also love Star Wars and Disney. So we've been kind of keeping our eye on the Galactic Star Cruiser, the would you call it, like
the Star Wars hotel,
like like the RPG hotel almost, kind of. We were very excited when it was first announced, but then images and videos came out and we're just like, oh, and then the price was revealed and we're like, oh,
this is expensive.
For how many nights?
And then they actually showed you demonstration. One of the things that I was really excited about too was the lightsaber training. I was like, oh, this seems like really cool. You actually get like a lightsaber and they're going to do blaster training. And then they showed you what it was. And I was just like, That's kind of exactly went through my head. Yeah. So they released that trailer, and they got so much criticism. I think they took it off the YouTube channel. They removed it fast. Got so much criticism, and now they have released a new one.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and share the screen. We're not gonna have the sound playing. We can't play it for too long because copyright and all that. Yeah. But we are going to share it with you guys. So hopefully, hold on a second. There's no information that.
So we can actually go through and kind of give you our thoughts. I mean, overall, I can kind of sum up the main criticism that I have with this trailer or with this video.
So we're just going to play it for you guys so you can see. That is essentially, this is the new commercial, if you will. We'll put the captions on there so you guys can, and this is kind of, I feel like this is like the place where I had a huge problem with what it looked like.
Yes, on the what is it called? The head, but on the main deck. The main deck.
Okay. The pilot, the main deck. So with all the technology that they have, with all the fabricators and the builders and set dressers and all that stuff, that's basically like at the palm of their hand. They have so much of that resources. They gave us something that doesn't remotely look like it comes from the world of Star Wars.
Yeah.
In the initial video we saw. This one, I feel like, and maybe they've just repainted or something. It does seem a little bit updated, but I don't think it's that much better, to be completely honest with you guys.
Honestly,
you're paying $6,000 or $45,000 a night for 2 nights for 2 people.
And Debbie, thank you so much. The bridge. I was like, I know this. I couldn't
movie
remember
bunch coming in clutch.
Thank you so much. But yeah, honestly, the thing that kind of sums up this entire thing, everything looks better in the dark. Kind of thing. They're like, okay, how can we hide our flaws? And someone was like, well, we can darken it. We can turn off the lights and fix up a few little things in post.
But everything's built. Everything's in. They open in less than a month.
Yep.
At this point. So there is a 30-minute plus video from Peter and Ketra over at Ordinary Adventures talking about like some of the updates. So I can't wait to see what that video talks about. I've been meaning to watch it, but I haven't yet because I've been so busy with editing and stuff like that. And I want to say they have plans to go, but I'm not sure. You have to follow them at their channel to to see what their plan is. But I think if they're able to go, if they were able to get a reservation, I assume that they will go and vlog the process and kind of report back. And they're very honest in their opinion. Like, even while being fans, you can be a fan of something and still criticize something.
Oh yeah.
You know, but like, I mean, and I don't mean bashing it for no reason.
But being able to give it respectful criticism. Kind of thing. That's something that it is kind of hard to find, because I do have to admit, it is kind of fun to bash things that you really don't like, but to be able to be professional about it and give, you know, hey, these are the things that we had problems with, is always, I mean, when you can find people who can do that very well, I think it's just incredible. Yeah. So that's why I want to see their video, because I know they can do that.
So with that, that is kind of the two pieces of news we wanted to talk about up front. And guys, keep the comments coming, whether in the chat or if you're watching this on the VOD later, comment in the comment section below what you think of the latest news for the box office for Spider-Man No Way Home, as well as your thoughts on the latest video for the Galactic Star Cruiser. And with that, you guys, we're going to go ahead and move on, because I can't wait to talk about The Legend of Vox Machina, episodes 10 to 12. You guys, first of all, thank you to all of you who have stayed with us for the entire 12-episode journey through our reaction and watching. And I think a lot of you guys watch all the way through, like intro to outro, which, to be completely honest, if I look at the analytics of like all the videos, I know that most people don't. But for The Legend of Vox Machina, I feel like more than usual amount of people watch from beginning to end.
Yeah, because they want to see our reactions. So they want to see our thoughts. They want to see. I'm really glad that you guys actually appreciate our opinions on this.
Yeah, so thank you so much. And thank you so much to like everybody who's been commenting on those reaction videos. If you did have anything you wanted to talk about spoiler-wise when it pertains to the campaign stream, you kind of hide it under a major spoiler warning. Like, I appreciate that so much, because I haven't sat down to watch the entire Briarwood arc via the stream. I've watched some pieces because a couple of you guys have timestamped, like, oh, if you want to see this part in the stream, here's timestamp, which makes it super easy, so I don't have to like search through it, because we were trying to look up when Pike came back via her astral projection, and I wanted to see how it played out on the live stream. So we searched like 20 minutes on YouTube. I'm like, is it this episode? Not realizing it was literally the same freaking title.
Yeah.
As the animated show. But anyways, thank you guys so much.
It did take us a while to find it, though. But yeah, then I love the fact that you guys have just placed it in there. We're like, oh, perfect. Click. Yes. Here's the thing that would have taken us 20 minutes to find.
Yes. So first things first, before we kind of go by episode, I do want to get to the super chat so we don't lose it from Shark Messiah.
Sounds good to me. Thank you so much, Mark Messiah. Shark Messiah. I'm sorry, my dyslexia kicks in. Thank you so much for your super chat.
Thank you so. It's okay. All right. So he writes, so how many seasons do you think the Chroma Conclave arc span in the show? For context, the Briarwood arc was 15 stream episodes. Ooh. While the Chroma Conclave was 45 stream episodes. Just thought I would ask. I am glad you asked this question. I've seen this pop up a lot in the discussion on our reaction video as well. And me not realizing, because obviously haven't watched the Vox Machina stream. I've only watched Mighty 9 and Campaign 3, I think episode 10 now, 7, 8, 9, something like that. So I didn't know how much of the Chroma Conclave it took up. So in our reaction, I was like, okay, next season, and not realizing that there probably isn't a way for them to finish all of the Chroma Conclave storyline in one single season, assuming season 2 is also a 12 episode order. We don't know that. I'm just I'm basing that off of what we got in season 1. Typically when shows get ordered, typically they do follow that kind of format, 12 episode. But maybe they give us more. But even if they gave us more,
each episode's a little longer.
I would love to see that.
But this is the thing too. So another thing I really don't want them to do is cram the whole Chroma Conclave story arc into one season, because that would leave you would get, so there's 4 dragons. That leaves you only get like 3 episodes per dragon. And then you still have to throw in all of the things that happen with Vax and the Raven Queen. Them getting all of the weapons, the vestiges of divergence, all of that, all of the things that happen in between. Them almost gave away a big story. Another plot point. One of the big a player that comes in at the very end of the fight. The whole thing about one of the other dragons that's at the very I
love how you're trying to step around.
I'm being very so those who know that happened, the very last dragon that they fight, the whole story about the leader the dragon that leads everything, kind of thing. And then you still have Keyleth's Aramente that plays a big part of this journey. So I don't know how you can fit all of that into 12 episodes. What I would love to see them do is to have it play out through almost 2 seasons, to where they would finish it maybe like an episode or 2, the Chroma Conclave storyline, an episode or 2 at the end of season 3, and then they leave us at a big cliffhanger for the start of episode 4, which would be Vecna, kind of a thing. I think they could throw that, but my guess is that they're going to what Amazon is going to try to do is have the Chroma Conclave in one season and then Vecna in another. I don't want them to do that because that's
going to feel very rushed.
Yes,
because from what I can tell, sans spoilers, and again, thank you to you and to the Critters, who's been very, very careful to avoid putting spoilers out in the open in the comments. From what I can gather, without reading spoilers, is that there is too much story in the Chroma Conclave arc to have it all fit into a 12-episode season. And Critters are expressing that they would like to see it expand to, the Chroma Conclave season 2, season 3, maybe even season 4, considering there's 45 episodes of the stream, and each stream is roughly 4 hours plus. So that's a lot of story. There's side stuff as well. So I don't want them to, yes, they can cut story down for time, but I don't want them to strip it to bare bones where it's kind of like, especially for the fans who funded the show, to watch it and go, oh, now it feels rushed.
Yeah.
Because we would just, at the end of the day, I want to see them tell a good story. And if that means, not finishing the Chroma Conclave in just one season, so be it. We'll fund the next season. Kickstarter another one. We'll put money in.
And you know what? I would love to actually see, like, say, Critical Role go, like, if Amazon doesn't want to renew it, they would be like, okay, fine.
Their loss.
We'll put it up on our own Critical Role Vox Machina channel on make their own website, and then make it so if you have funded the Kickstarter, you get those episodes for free, depending on how much you donated, or you can just buy the whole season for a certain amount, or buy each episode one at a time, kind of a thing, and be like, hey, you know what? We're going to do our own VOD.
Yeah, why not? We'll see how it goes. I'm sure, we know that season 2 is greenlit. There is no confirmed date. I read, this is not confirmed. This is rumored because it's just comment section. So we're going to treat it as rumor because it's not confirmed until Critical Role gives the announcement or Amazon gives the announcement. Or should I say Prime Video? But I read that it's rumored to come out beginning of 2023, which feels so far away.
So far away. That's a whole year.
You know what? That'll give me enough time to watch the entirety of the Briarwood arc.
Oh yeah.
I can really space it out if I want to.
And I think it would be good if you did not watch.
Yeah, I would stop at, like, as Uriel's giving his proclamation.
Yeah.
And just be like, all right, because I think I really enjoy the prospect of the two of us, one knowing what's going to happen and the other one's kind of like, wait, what's happening now? Because you get two different perspectives of that reaction, and it's fun.
That moment is just so good in the campaign, because nobody saw this. I saw this coming, and
when that happened, did Matt say, "And that's where we ended"?
I can't remember where he did. I think they did, because I think they started off the next session with them reacting to and fighting what was going on
Okay.
Once again, I don't want to spoil.
Yeah, don't spoil
for
too much.
somebody here.
I appreciate that. So, Shark Messiah, sorry for the super long answer, but we hope that covers your question just a little bit. And with that, let's go ahead and dive into episode 10. I don't even remember. Like
the first
I feel like
episodes 10 started
you
off
rewatched them
with,
while I was doing stuff. So.
With Percy pointing the gun at Ripley's head.
That's right. We meet Dr. Anna Ripley in the jail cell.
Which is another thing that they have to
her
fit.
hand, one of her hands.
Yep, her right hand. That's another whole story arc that they need to fit in to the Chroma Conclave storyline. Or is that after the Chroma Conclave? But that's a whole other storyline that they have to fit in there.
Yeah, I had assumed that, like, we know that she would come back. Sorry, you keep talking. I gotta look for my notes. I gotta look for my notes. So you talk to them while I look for them.
But yeah, we start off right away with that very tense moment of No Mercy Percy just holding that gun to Ripley's head and hearing Keyleth in the background going, Percy, no! And then you hear boom, and then it goes to dun 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 dun.
Yeah, the theme music.
The theme music, I love it.
So good. So yeah, we get a glimpse of, you know, who, and I mean a glimpse for those of you who haven't watched the campaign, the streamed campaign, a little bit of Ripley, totally not trustworthy, like inside checker all day, every day, and Percy's reaction to her, and also the realization, and Pike sees this, and Keyleth have been saying it, like, what's with the smoke? They've been touching on this ever since they saw it for the first time, like, what's with the smoke? We got to talk about the smoke. And finally, you know, Pike did a little looky-loo and realized that there is definitely something bigger at play than just Percy's want to exact vengeance for his family. So we get a little bit of that as they eventually do take Ripley with them to continue to travel, because she obviously built the ziggurat. She helped build it.
She knows where everything is. She knows, and which is also where they diverged a little bit from the campaign, because someone in the chat did have. I'm sorry, the chat has already flown by. So if
sorry guys,
you did mention it while I looked down, where Ripley was wearing a magical disguise at when she was in the prison.
In the show or in the stream?
In the stream.
Okay.
But what was it? I also remember them being a part of the initial charge into the castle, and they did spend some time going through the castle, and they could not find the Briarwoods anywhere. Then they go into that secret tunnel, they find Ripley, and Ripley does direct them straight into where all of the acid is.
You know, it's so funny with and guys, I hope it's clear that we are talking spoilers here, spoilers discussion. So if you haven't watched the final 3 episodes of season 1 of The Legend of Vox Machina, you don't want to watch this video right now, because we're about to spoil it all for you. So you can just, you know, turn on your Prime Video and watch that first, and then come back, because this video will stay up. But yeah, as she let them into we'll call it the acid trap, I was so suspicious of her that I completely didn't even think, and it was at the very back of my mind, but I didn't really think of it because I was just so happy that brother and sister were united, and I'm talking about the Derolos here, that I was just like, where is she leading them? She's not telling the truth. She's trying to escape. They put her in jail on purpose to bait the Vox Machina for coming in, or something like that, being walked into a trap.
Matt did a brilliant job of that little misdirection to get you focus on one character, so you did not see Cassandra's betrayal at the acid room. And honestly, in the campaign, I loved how they did the trap, and how even Matt, I think at one moment was like, oh no, did I just kill everyone? Everyone's gonna die. They barely made it out of there. And I'm surprised also that they really did how in the TV show they removed Trinket. And
Trinket's not there.
And Trinket's not here at all. And I remember a moment when they're trying to push Trinket through this opening in the acid room, and you're just like, they're gonna kill the bear. Kind of.
I mean, look, I don't know about Vox Machina, but I know Mighty 9 doesn't have the best track record when it comes to keeping animals and or pets. Like, how many times have they forgotten about Sprinkle? You know, like when they dove underwater, and it's like, how's your weasel doing? Oh, Sprinkle! So yeah, so I think maybe it's good for the animated. Like they didn't take Trinket. Trinket's just like, I'm just gonna hang out in Iman. Everything's fine. I'm getting pets, I'm sure, by the guards. So all the scritches.
Shown that too, is that they come back to the tree all beat up, and then they just see like Trinket like rolled on his belly, and you just see one of the guards or one of the people there just going, "Who's a good bear? Who's a good bear? Who's a good?" And then he kind of just like looks over at Vexalia and going, and comes on over and starts licking her face.
Yeah. I also want to point out, since we're talking about the misdirection and those of us who hadn't watched the campaign not realizing that Cassandra, which totally makes sense considering how many years she was with the Briarwoods, that they held her hostage, that it makes sense. Like, they're bad people. They're gonna do bad things. They don't like the Derolos, obviously. They want to murder their whole family. But in the jail cell, when she was either when Cassandra was talking to Ripley or when Cassandra was trying to stop Percy from shooting Anna right there and then, there was a quick, and I may be imagining this, but I feel like I saw it in edit and I forgot to like edit Wendy. The edit Wendy like didn't pop in and talk about it, but I think her eyes flashed that yellow, like the charm person.
I know her eyes flashed yellow in the acid room.
Yes, but earlier in the very beginning, it was a quick, because her eyes are technically a pale blue.
I think if they did, we would have noticed. But
I think
guys,
it was
answer in the
subtle.
chat if you guys happen to remember in the jail cell room, you saw a little flash of yellow in her eyes. I don't think we did, but I did love just the buildup of that moment. And
when the gun showed her name,
when the barrel in the acid room, and you have that wide-eyed look on Percy's face, and the pan over to seeing Cassandra there at the controls, whoosh, and then Vax sliding in underneath, just like in the campaign. I thought that was so cool. And they did such an amazing job.
And speaking of Vax, who slid under, so they were separated by like, it looked like maybe a residuum door, perhaps. There's a lot. It's an expensive piece of real estate. I'll tell you that, right? They can farm it. They can farm all the residuum back out, and then they can rebuild Whitestone with the money. But you know, the Briarwoods come through and they're like, "Oh, hello, Vax," and immediately it was just like under their control, and it breaks my heart.
You haven't learned from the last time.
And totally breaks my heart for Vex having to see her brother walk away.
That moment,
not being responsive.
Laura Bailey does an amazing job. Something that Wendy is constantly saying is that she does not hear. I don't hear Bailey's Laura voice at all. I have to admit, I do, because I saw the original campaign, so I hear that voice. I know I can match up that voice with Laura Bailey's face, but I still love the way that she delivers those lines. You feel that pain. You feel those moments that she just delivers so insanely well.
Hasn't she won tons of awards for her
I know
work
in I know she's been nominated, because there's been times when she comes
she left the awards.
And before they announced her award, kind of a thing, because she's like, I'm not gonna win. So, and then she looked at her phone and she was like, okay, I didn't win. I'm fine.
I can roll dice. It's all good. But yeah, I mean, they're all freaking phenomenal. And quick sidebar here, it was a nice surprise when we were watching The Bad Batch to hear Liam and Sam's voice pop up as a couple of the regular characters in the cantina or the bar in The Bad Batch. Okay, sorry, sidebar over.
Also, the fact that, what is it called? That Towson played his dad.
Yeah.
In there, and
I believe he said he channeled his grandfather. And I was like, man, just the talent.
How old and legendary must Towson's grandfather be? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, Towson already has this kind of old wise kind of aura to him.
Yeah.
I can just, what is it in that series that they did where Brian Foster talked to each one of them.
It's not a Tox Bacchina.
It's where they were all having drinks.
Yeah, it's like an individual between the sheets, beyond the sheets, something sheets.
Oh yeah, because they're talking about the character sheets. But that talk with Towson was so good, and I loved all of the things that they were talking about in that episode, in that
was
show.
there a troll?
Yeah, there's some spam.
Thank you. Sorry about that, guys. Don't click on the weird questionable links unless they come from like us telling you that it's coming into the chat. We'll tell you if we're gonna drop a link. Okay. So and then one of the final things that happened, they're in the acid trap, if you will. Obviously was the big was this episode how to solve the puzzle of getting out,
and that was an amazing puzzle in the campaign, and they really did bring it to life in this episode. And I love that moment when someone's like, I'm going into the acid, and Grog just dives on in, and but then you also get
all Grog, guys,
and then you also get Pike just put, I'm healing you. So she's just, you can imagine that she's just constantly. Was it
cure wounds?
No, it couldn't be cure wounds. Cure wounds is
it's a touch spell.
So it would have to be healing word. She would have to be constantly throwing healing word at him to get to constantly counter the damage that he's getting from the acid. And that moment when they've succeeded, they drained all of the acid, and he's like, is Captain Winky okay?
So was that from the stream too?
I think so. I think there was a joke about Grog's penis. Kind of a thing.
Still hanging low, buddies.
Still hanging low, buddy. It's like, all right, I'm good. I'm good to go. Oops, forgot my drawers.
How did episode 10? I don't know why my brain is such a blank. How did episode 10 end?
Episode 10 ended with them going to the ziggurat and them going, we need a blood sacrifice. We are now spoiled for choices because there's Vax and there's Cassandra. So it was them prepping, getting ready to do the ritual. But then, of course, here comes the cavalry to the ziggurat. And we do have, I think, one or two super chats that I do want to get to.
And then we'll move on to episode 11. Thank you so much to MJ Allied for your super chat, who wrote, I watched all 12 episodes. Yay!
Woohoo!
It was good, but it was adult content. I did not know that.
It's
adult. It's like Invincible.
Oh, adult. Yeah. Well, I would say even more so because there were some boobies.
Yeah, there wasn't any sort of like that kind of content in Invincible in the first season.
There's no
Invincible
in Invincible.
Sorry.
As far as I know, there's a lot of blood and guts and brain matter that you see,
and like violent, graphic.
Super graphic violence.
So it's also, by the way, that's also on Prime Video. # not sponsored, but it is a really, really good show. We highly suggest, if you're okay with adult content, go ahead and check that series out as well. It's also animated.
Yes, very well. It's an excellent series.
Excellent.
But yeah, honestly, I think I'm going to have sooner or later a Vox Machina binge.
Yeah,
where I'm just going to go through the entire season again now that they're all out, and I just want to watch it from beginning to end and not have any gaps.
Yeah. Shark Messiah 101, thank you
so
for
much.
Your super chat, who writes a bit more context. Conclave has the dragons, the Vistage Hunt, Ripley, Vox, Craven Edge, and the Feywilds. By the way, Tyrion and Vecna arcs are 16 episodes. Okay. So we will look forward to, well, hopefully they can,
Tyrion Darrington. And yeah, that's another thing.
Down.
I love Tyrion Darrington. He is the perfect amount of obnoxious kind of a thing, which Sam pulls off insanely well. And honestly, I would think that would be a really good place to kind of leave on a huge cliffhanger. I don't want to say too much that will be spoilerish, but the reason they will leave it right where the reason why Tyrion is able to appear, kind of a thing, and leave it kind of on a cliffhanger. And then the start of the new season is Tyrion Darrington. And but honestly, I'm sure whatever they do, they're going to be able to strategize it out 100 times better than I ever could.
I just don't want them to cram too much into one season so that it doesn't feel rushed. I want everything to be able to breathe and have time to let us simmer and all that stuff. All right. Hey, Dustin, look at this. Don't read this out loud because it's spoilers for campaign 2 for people who haven't watched campaign 2.
Hold on a second. I'm getting rid of.
But guys, if you see weird bots with the links, feel free to report them. Because they gotta stop coming back to this just because
it's the same one over and over again.
Well, they're bored and nobody wants to click on your link. Get out of our chat.
Okay, so want me to check the
No. I want you to look at where my mouse is and read it to yourself because I don't want to say spoilers. But this, they're talking about this. That's campaign 2, right? I've met him already.
Oh yeah. I know that. Yeah. That's.
I'm just gonna highlight this. Matthew writes, I can't wait until I'm assuming this is for us. I can't wait until your wife meets our Tegan in the Feywild. She's going to flip. Maybe that's a comment for somebody else. Maybe they're talking amongst each other.
But
if it is to us,
I'm going to the theater. You don't know that about the theater, but it's a running gag, and they do end up going back to the theater in like a quick 1 year later kind of spread, but it's really funny on what they find out what the theater is kind of thing. So, and
that had something to do with Artagan?
I think, yeah.
Okay.
When they go to the Feywild, because that's when they find one of the vestiges of Divergent.
Oh, okay.
Because they have to collect a good number of them. I think the first one they get is for Grog. And
don't say too much.
It's great. It's great. Okay, I'm not going to say too much.
Stop spoiling. Let's move on because I feel like you already did a little bit.
Oh, no, nothing too big.
Okay, you say
we are moving on to the
All right,
next.
let's go ahead and move on to.
Let's move on to the next. We have 2 more super chats.
Oh, what? I'm sorry, guys. We're so behind. We do?
Yeah, they just came in. They're very close to the bottom. I thought I took care of those spams.
I'll get them.
Thank you very much. But our next super chat,
Mr. K. Chusker writes, Wendy, since you're less familiar with C1, do you have a favorite character from the campaign 1? It's really hard for me to pick a favorite character because I feel like I love all of them so much, because without all of them together, we wouldn't have the whole group, and then their back and forth is what makes me love the story and the characters. But I would say, based on the animation that we've seen, and not based on the stream, I would say based on the animation, I love Percy.
Yeah, I Percy's one of my favorites.
I think Keyleth is pretty freaking awesome. And I feel like I have a soft spot for Vex. Because it's Laura Bailey, so it's like I can't not love Laura Bailey. And as far as like player wise and their playing style, again, they're all freaking fantastic. But I think there's something with Laura Bailey with the way she interacts, the way she thinks, specifically in campaign 2. If you guys know about those certain moments where she even stumped the DM.
I love that with the hag.
I was trying to stay.
Well, I just
okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's a but anyways, yeah, that moment. I love that moment.
Yes. So yeah, I would say like based on animation, Percy, Keyleth, Vex, and then based on what I have seen as far as the stream goes, playing wise, again, they're all freaking fantastic. But I would put Laura and Taliesin as like probably my 2 favorite players. But everybody is fantastic. Okay, sorry.
So go ahead and scroll down a little bit more.
Okay.
And we will have, there we go, right
All
there.
right, this one comes from Itilosi99, who writes,
Thank you so much.
Thank you. What did you think of the changes they made? The last few episodes played out quite differently in places.
Oh, yeah.
One of the ones that I know, and we can talk about it now, since 1, this is spoiler, and 2, this is, we're on episode 11 now, so this is Whispers at the Ziggurat, where we find out somebody stands in front of somebody else to take the hit for them. And in the campaign, having read that in the comment section, and you told me this because we usually talk about it until we go to bed. We go to bed talking about the show, especially right after we watch it because it's so fresh in our memory. We did talk about, and he let me know that Vex was the one that actually took the hit. She was also flying as well because she apparently drank a potion of levitation or flying or something like that. And there was this whole big deal where there was something because of the magic she was hit with, that if her health dropped below a certain point, it could be really, really, really bad for her character. So when that happened and she fell from flying because you know, that made it like really, really bad. And they were
at to take fall damage.
Yeah, and then they're also at a place because the spell wore out because they're in a place where magic doesn't happen. So it was revealed that she was like, without saying too much detail, but she was like literally single digits, in the single digit of her health point when this happened. So I was like, oh, are we gonna lose this character?
And also, I loved how they did pull off the similarities though as well. The fact that the first thing they tried to do was use the potion. They're like, use the potion. They're like, okay, cool, we're good. And Matt's like, nothing happens. And they're like, what? And then you try to use healing word, nothing happens. And I loved the similarities, but I think the changes that they made were very well changed, very strategically made, very important. I mean, they did it for a purpose. Like, for example, when they try to go through the door that Delilah is on the other side to continuing the ritual, they couldn't go through. They actually had to go up and over the wall, and it was a whole ordeal. But when you're short on time, you got to go and hit the main points, and also be able to progress the storyline a little bit further. These are smart changes.
All my notes.
So I think the changes that they made in this were very smart, and also the details of the fight when they're fighting Delilah, Silas, and Cassandra on the steps of the what is it called, on the steps of the ziggurat of the ziggurat.
The ziggurat.
I loved that moment with Scanlan sliding in. And another thing that I loved that they did change, but I thought was hilarious, was the casting of Silent on
that was
Scanlan.
So good.
The animation on that, the way that you would animate Scanlan having Silent cast on, like and the big anime eyes and the big anime movements of him moving around going,
thank you, Titmouse, for capturing that magic.
Yes.
So good. Yeah. You know, as like, if you're watching it from just a fan of fantasy type adventure, like it's great, and you kind of understand like, oh, they're encased in some sort of like magic that doesn't allow them to speak. But as D&D players, you watch and you realize it's silent, and you say, oh, that's a great way. They're literally in their own little dark bubble, and everything with the sound design, everything is muffled, and kind of he can only hear himself, or he can't really hear himself play. I love that so much. Our reaction was pretty big because I was like, yo!
And also the way that the fight worked out with Silas, it wasn't Grog holding him.
Did we answer all of this?
I think so, Brian. Okay. Did we miss anything?
Yeah,
we're still talking about like
the changes
and stuff. We still have. We'll talk about the changes as well
as we go
along.
All right.
But that fight scene I thought worked out so well. I loved seeing Pike and Silas fighting around. She had a little bit of like Yoda going on, where she's flipping and jumping and sliding down on her shield and moving around and throwing lightning or guiding bolts, kind of a thing. And I was like, I love being able to recognize the spells that they're using and the little nods that they will give to, hey guys, if you know, this is the spell that they're using, kind of thing. When Delilah did this, and then Sam does it back, and then Scanlan does it back to her.
Yes, love it. And we were saying that we can't wait later on if they do this. And I remember this specifically, and I think they did a lot in campaign 2, is when they eventually, maybe one day, they get to animate counterspell. Counterspell, your counterspell. That counterspell, your counterspell.
I want to see that so
and then
bad.
Caduceus canceled. Nat 20 canceled.
How many times Caduceus did that? And just some of the other moments in campaign 2 that are just so powerful.
Yeah.
That I just can't wait to see. But of course, we still have to get through campaign 1, which I hope is going to be more than 3 seasons. I hope they can give us 4 or 5 seasons.
Yes.
4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah.
If we get 3, I'm going to be happy. But if we get 4 or 5, I'm going to get even more happy.
Let's go.
So
let's go full support, critters.
But that fight. So they had the fight. they end up what is it called? The struggle between Cassandra and Percy. And you see that little flash of gold across her eyes. And then, of course, Silas redoing the casting of it.
Recasting
the spell. I don't have time for your weakness.
Oh, it's excellent to watch all the different fights taking place at the same time. The struggles that is happening. You got Vax and Vex fighting because Vax is, under the influence of Silas, and Vex is kind of almost faced with the decision of like, God, am I going to have to kill my own brother? Because he's not coming out of this. Multiple people taking on Silas, Percy and Cassandra and Delilah versus Pike and Scanlan. But I love that Keyleth comes in. I feel like she was just holding on to that sunbeam spell. Was like, this is what's going to have the most effect on a vampire.
Yeah.
So she talks with the sun tree, and I love the whole animation of the root kind of curling around her hand, and it lights up, and curling up her staff. And when she cast the spell, and it was just pulling all the lights from everywhere. Like that was just a beautiful imagery.
You see all of these sparkles coming down from the sun tree,
so
beautifully animated. And that moment of her just blazing that bolt of light straight towards him. In the campaign, Silas had already turned into like mist, and she used it to wipe out the mist.
And that's one of the changes as well.
And that moment that you hear Matt go, no!
As
Delilah, that moment. I loved it because she was encapsulated in silent at the time.
Yeah.
But in the next episode, where she's like, I broke the world for us, was so good.
Right. The devastation in Delilah's voice, voiced by Gray, like she's so good.
She's such an amazing voice
so
actor.
Good. I felt it, where typically you don't feel bad for the villain, but for their storyline specifically, they're really, really bad people. They did a ton of bad things, but my heart broke just a little bit for her because her love for her husband was so immense that she literally will break the world for him just so they can be together. So, and the fact that she was encased in silence, and she screamed as it broke her spell, everything, it just, that moment was so good. I fully enjoyed that. So they chase her, she starts the ritual, she starts all over again. It's like, this arm done, fine, I'll carve it into the other arm, I'll do it anyways. And she continues the ritual following her husband's tragic death. Tragic to her, great for the heroes. So I almost called them the Mighty Nine. So Vox Machina absolutely needed to stop the ritual from happening. So they're literally throwing everything they can at her. And this is where one of the changes happened. We kind of talked about this already, but instead of Vex, it was Keyleth who jumped in front of her, took the hit from Delilah's spell. And the animation was so good because you saw that spell just right here, right in front of Vex's face. And then as they pull back the camera, you see it's completely gone through Keyleth, and who just falls. And I assume she was then making her that saving throws at that point. And, and for someone who hadn't watched the campaign, the stream, I was so fully invested. I was like, oh, and I think I said it out loud, and I was like, oh, she's going to be fine. Pike's there. I think just like the cleric is going to just save her. And boom, boom, she leaves. And the devastation and the shock on Vex's face as Pike faded away it's basically how I felt. I was like, no. I was like, well, she'll just come back, right? The Wi-Fi is going to come back. They can just reconnect via Skype. It's fine. That didn't happen, but I think that kind of takes us into the next episode. Oh, and obviously the spinning orb of death.
Yeah,
is there as well.
That happened at the beginning of the finale, because that is, I think that happened at the beginning of the finale. Because they had the spell, they had Percy fighting his demon, so to speak, his own personal demons, so to speak, and then kind of the conclusion with them and leading up to the big cliffhanger that we all
know what's coming next. Should we move on to the next episode then?
Yeah.
Okay, before we do, we will go ahead and go to our next super chat. And sorry, by the way, thank you guys so much for sending me your super chats. And I'm sorry we're getting to them. We're so behind. Here is one from Itilosi99 who writes, I hope they cast Mark Hamill as Vecna in season 3.
That would be really smart because Mark Hamill would do an amazing voice.
I mean, it's
for
Mark
Vecna.
Hamill.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I wouldn't want.
He has that kind of that voice.
Not that I wouldn't want Matt to do it.
Yeah,
because he obviously is phenomenal at voice work, but it's also Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That would be cool. I would not be opposed to that. I would also not be opposed to Matt Mercer doing the voice for Vecna.
The only change that I would make in your I hope would be I hope they cast Mark Hamill as Vecna in season 5.
There you go. Just so we have more.
Give us more.
Give us more.
Nope, sorry. Nope, can't hit high notes. We do have one more super chat.
I'm getting there. Hold on.
Oh,
do you want to go ahead and read it while I put it up? Where is it?
It's down very close to the bottom.
Okay. You can start reading and I'll put it up in a second.
Cool. And we've got a super chat from Bill Stevens. Thank you so much.
Bill Stevens, hello.
For bringing up, and it's Bidet. Grog has not taken over
this particular post.
Would you go ahead and so wouldn't the ladies like Grog more than Smart Percy or Vax?
Smarty Percy or Vax?
Or is her name Vex? I get them too confused. So is Grog every woman's favorite? Well, I guess that's a question to ask you. Is Grog one of your favorites? I can't not
love Grog.
Grog is one of those,
is very lovable.
Oh, very much so. Even when he was completely obliterating Percy's ancestors.
Yeah. Just like in his own little like murder hobo bubble. He's like killing. Yeah, he's a barbarian.
I get to smash things.
I think the best part about Grog is how earnest I think Grog is. It's partly due to his character build because he has got low charisma. And I also Grog is so pure to me. Grog is so pure. His friendship with Pike is so pure. Like I think somebody said it a while ago in one of the comments in the reaction video, like early episodes, but they're like, I didn't have Grog on the list of the characters that was going to make me cry, but when Pike in the animation decided to, go on her own journey because she needs to reconnect with Everlight.
But what if I need you? That moment when he's sitting on the end of the wagon and he's actually crying. Just makes you go, God. I feel for you, Grog. I feel for you.
Low intelligence, sorry, not low charisma. Thank you for the correction. As I was saying it, I was like,
slip of the tongue.
Yes. No, it was just straight up mixed up. I just mixed it up. Let me see. Let me go to my notes.
But honestly, I love the fact too that Travis made a character with a 6 intelligence.
8.
No, 6.
6?
It was, he had I at first thought it was 8, but no, his
Steven also says 6 intelligence.
Was 6.
That's really low.
Yeah, because there was I think there's a moment to where someone uses polymorph on Grog to transform him into a giant eagle.
Which has a
higher intelligence than Grog has. And I believe in one of the time spans where the time jumps that they did where they're like, Matt's like, hey guys, I'm going to give you a year of downtime.
My God, so Gleeta's intelligence is higher than Grog's. Gleeta is my barbarian character. She's only level 4, so she's nowhere near, where Grog is. But I wanted to build a barbarian, and she's intelligence of 8.
Mm-hmm.
A 6 is low. What is that? -1, -2?
-2. That's a minus. Yeah. What is it? 10 and 9 are -0.
I love this color.
8 and 7 are -1. 6 and 5 are -2. I think.
Yikes.
I think.
Yikes.
I have to look at it. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, it's hilarious to have a character that has that big of a flaw.
Oh, that's hilarious. Acacia Phoenix writes, Grog's strong jar, thick of mind, thick of butt. Thick of butt indeed.
Oops, forgot my drawers.
Ah, so good. Let's see. Matthew writes, it was a 6. Then he somehow got a -2 or a -2 to his saves being Grog. So a -4 for...
-4
so
on
even
all
if
of your
he
intelligence.
rolls a nat 20,
it's still
it's still a
it's still a 16.
16.
So that means the highest he can get is a 16 on
You have to put
his.
guidance or bless on him.
Yep.
For these checks. Oh my god, how funny. All right. Well, should we move on to episode?
Well, we're kind of already in the middle of episode 12.
Gotcha.
Because Delilah starts the ritual. They all come busting in, shooting arrows. Delilah's losing her mind, just starting to throw things. And finally, she finishes the ritual, but we get the spinning orb of death.
Spinning orb of death.
And then once her shield went down, Percy, 2 shots. One was like through the abdomen, and the other one was through the shoulder. And I love the fact that they're like, we got to get out of here. After Keyleth is down, they find out that magic doesn't work, and of course,
Percy's kind of being kind of overtaken by the demon.
Yeah. But they grab Delilah's hair and just drag her out, and of course, they go down the stairs of the ziggurat. And I'm just like, I just have this image of them dragging her and just having this down the steps.
That was really great. So yeah, and on their way out, Grog takes Silas's sword that we know is I think it's called the Craven Edge or something. Craven some other?
Yeah, Craven's Edge.
Craven's Edge, and looks into it.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
There's definitely something there, that quick scene of him looking into the sword, seeing a reflection of himself. I don't know what it means, but I also find it hilarious that like Grog picks up a magical sword, essentially. There's something lurking inside, maybe possibly, and that later Travis's other character, Ford, also has
a magical sword.
The
falchion.
I don't know why I can't remember. It's in the song, the falchion, and then
falchions and cunning,
and we know all how that whole thing worked out with
Uk'otoa.
All right,
which I'm a little bummed that even in the campaign, that was the very first big story arc that they did in campaign 2, and they never truly finished it.
One off, one shot. Let's do it.
So, and then they end up having to they get to the acid room, and then of course Percy's demon comes out.
Yeah, and really takes over him, and the eternal struggle is real for Percy. I loved how they animated it. I loved him, all the members of the party, his sister, Vex, everybody trying to stop him, although at the same time not trying to kill him because, as Keyleth said, the demon can't bleed, but Percy can. And you can't hurt him because he's gonna die. So they're literally doing everything in their power to not hurt him and trying to avoid him killing Delilah, because then that would essentially finish put the bow on it for the demon, if you will. I think in the campaign, speaking of some of the changes, when Matt was describing Orthax, is that the color palette was kind of purple-y. But in this one, they made it black and orange and gold, which I kind of like because he said forged in smoke and ember, and that's kind of the color of Orthax. And I also thought that because Delilah kind of had the black and purple in her magic, it would have been too much of the same color palette. And I think the orange, it just made it really, what's the word? Threatening.
Yeah. I have to go back and watch this again because that moment I don't remember that moment as much when they're fighting Orthax in the campaign. What I remember is how Scanlan got the gun from Percy and Taliesin's reaction to him throwing it into the acid.
Was it similar to my reaction?
100 times
bigger
more.
Because it's not my character and it's not my gun. But watching it and knowing that, when you want to build something magical and something that's your weapon of choice and it gets destroyed like that, not of your own fault, like literally another player picked it up and was like, I'm gonna do this with it. Yeah. You're like you want to get mad, but at the same time, it's kind of like it's a game, so you don't want to get too mad, but you're invested. You're emotionally attached to these characters because you built them. So, and I was literally thinking, I was like, how much golden time did he spend? Because right now, for one of my characters, even though she's Pathfinder, she's trying to build something, and I think it's like something like 2,500 gold pieces. And I was like, man, I'm level 6. Like, I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm slowly saving up for this one item that I want for my witch.
That gun actually had some magical properties to it. Like he could shoot, he could load up like I think a fire shot and also like an ice shot with that gun. There were a lot more magical abilities with that gun, and that's the gun that got melted. And of course, then he does remake a new one, which is better, but seeing that moment, I was heartbroken for him, for Percy. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Does anyone remember exactly? Oh, Scanlan cast friends on Percy.
So in the animation, they didn't show that, but you did mention that Scanlan cast something on Percy so that he was willing to hand the gun over or something like that.
Yeah, he did cast. I thought he cast something a little bit more powerful than just friendship. I thought he actually cast like control person,
command.
Well, command
is one word.
Yeah.
So what? Give. Gimme. GIMME. Gimme.
Gimme. But or what was it? So I think someone just posted it. I hope we get
to see diplomacy. So let's talk.
Diplomacy is a fun weapon.
Yeah. Let's talk about
But honestly, that moment in the campaign, I loved it, and I think that also
gimme gun.
Gimme gun.
Gimme gun. Gimme gun.
But I loved that moment in the campaign, and I think they did it quickly because they needed to move on. They couldn't make it any much longer than they already had. And having Scanlan just go, yoink. Well, here, why don't you give it back to me? Yeah, I get no way. How did you know the demon was still inside? Total guess.
And that was a line that
I think
the campaign.
If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, there was something similar that Scanlan said when I think it was Keyleth that said, how did you know? Total guess.
It's very Sam.
Oh, he said something like it was a 50-50.
Somebody actually timestamped that moment with the gun in our reaction video. So,
I want to go back.
I want to go back and watch that.
But then again, I do kind of want to watch this from episode 1 up to the end.
So many hours.
Yeah, it's going to be some few hours.
It's fine. We can do it. If season 2 is rumored to air sometime in the early 2023, and again, that's not confirmed. Time. That's not like a statement that's been released by Critical Role and or Prime Video. That's just the things we're hearing in the comment section. If that is the case, yeah, we do have plenty of time if it's only like a 15 episode arc. Okay, so let's see the main points here. Grog with the sword. Percy and Orthax.
And I cannot wait.
Cassandra kills Delilah.
Right through the throat.
That was vicious. And then she pulled the thing where she like had the sword and she pushed it in just a little bit more.
Yeah, just that little.
Where you're like, I mean, she's not wrong for doing that. She was tortured and mind controlled, held hostage for how many years? Like, that girl has trauma. So rightly so. Cassandra meets her end. And when they come out from the ziggurat, the people of Whitestone are celebrating them as heroes. The sun is breaking through the clouds. They talk with Keeper Yenin. Hey, so did you see a woman named Ripley? Kind of leads to that storyline isn't over yet. Remember that name because she's probably gonna, pop up later. Percy declaring Cassandra as the leader for Whitestone, which I had always thought if she makes it through this whole thing, that would be the case. And I only thought that because I know that Percy continues on with Vox Machina, so there's no way he can play leader of Whitestone while being absent because he's doing his adventuring party thing. And another thing that they talked about with Keeper Yenin was like, oh yeah, that orb down there, it's still down there. You wanna? And the
spinning orb of death.
And she said, we've had some of our holy men go to check it out. I was like, that's not good. Did you tell her that magic doesn't work down there just in case they need that? And the man literally, sucked into his flesh was sucked
ripped off and sucked through
into the spinning orb of death.
One thing that I wish, once again, if they had more time to have gone off about was a little bit more about the inside walls of that ziggurat. And just when Matt describes it in the campaign, it is just gruesome when they describe how many bodies are pinned and just stuck onto the side of the ziggurat. And what was it, since some of the other Briarwood followers were still alive at the end of this, they were charged with removing all of the bodies and giving them proper burials. And it was just, I was just like, oh, wow, that is gruesome, the way that Matt just described it.
Absolutely. Amber Crystal has a comment here. It says Keyleth used hold person on Percy so he didn't jump into acid to get the gun.
Oh,
wow.
That's right.
Wow. I can't imagine just the all the emotions that Taliesin was going through as a player. Like, no!
My God.
I spent so much time and money on that. I thought it out. And then Acacia Phoenix writes, I think the gunslinger was 250 gold of resources for the pepper box. He had 2 barrels enchanted, fire shot and ice shot. Animus, the gun he built at the end of Ep 12, has a psychic enchantment on it. Well, that's cool. And speaking
Animus
of that,
is fun.
Speaking of him building the gun, we also saw him putting on the glove because to kind of, in the animation, breaking out of, his connection with the demon for the time.
Gardener's next door.
All right. Sorry, guys, if you can. I don't think the mic can pick it up, but if it does, we're so sorry. But yeah, he shot himself through the whole hand, and later on, gosh, that is loud, guys. As he puts on the glove, he's got like a stone. It looked, since it was green, I'm guessing it's maybe residuum in there. So that hopefully comes into play. It'll be revealed in the animation of like exactly how that plays into Percy and maybe how he uses his guns and whatnot.
And Gale Warshot shot. I do agree with you. I would have loved to have seen 2 more episodes to give them a little bit more downtime and a little bit more of them like building up.
The season finale could have been split part 1, part 2.
Yeah.
Because they did Tal'Dorei part 1, part 2.
At least 1 more episode to kind of give them time to stretch out a little bit more of them cleaning up Whitestone, what they do, a little bit more time in Tal'Dorei, and seeing them actually build up. Technically, they haven't given us the name for their keep, which is Greyskull Keep. But I would love for them to actually start like hiring some of their hands to be a part of their keep, kind of to see them build up, and to have a little bit more time before the dun,
which we should totally talk about right now. And by the way, thank you guys, everybody who is tuning in to our live stream. Thank you so much for being here. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. It gives us more visibility on YouTube, which just really helps us out a lot.
Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe if you like some of the reactions that we've been doing and some of our live shows. We do stream every Wednesday and Saturday at 2 o'clock. And every now and again on Wednesdays, we are trying to do on a regular basis, trying to stream at Disneyland.
Yeah, Disneyland.
So come check us out on those times. We're going to be talking about pop culture and movie news every Wednesday and Saturday at 2 o'clock.
Mastelots writes, Greyskull is copyrighted, isn't it?
Yep.
Yes, that is correct.
Which is why they don't say it.
They haven't been able to say Greyskull.
And I'm like, no.
Yes.
I mean, I'm wondering if they could kind of tweak it a little to call it something a little bit different when they're thinking of the name. I guess they can just call it Keep Vox Machina or something like that.
The writers and the cast, I'm sure, will come up with something, or they'll just keep it, as like the keep or their home. If they're out adventuring, if they're not spending too much time in there, then I think we can kind of gloss over that for now. All right, so let's talk about the ending. They are back in Iman, and they're back in their keep. And they're kind of doing their normal thing. They got trinket repairs.
Pike is reading a book.
Pike is reading and it was so quick that I didn't catch it when we watched it. While we're filming our reaction, I only caught it because I was editing, and you watch the same frame over and over sometimes because you're trying to cut at the right moments. And I was like, what book is she reading? And naturally, it was the one and only, the most sought after book
in all of the world of
Exandria
and Wildmount.
Tusk Love. it's funny because the first time we saw it in Gilmore, Pike kind of was like, So I think it's great that she, in this, I would imagine she went back and was like, I want that book.
Mm-hmm.
So she was reading and I caught it. So if you watch the reaction video, you'll know that editing Wendy popped in and was like, by the way, I didn't catch this, but here it is. Tusk love.
So I love those little tidbits that they put in.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as they're starting to do little repairs in Watch Jarrett, and they're like, yes, you I'm here to escort you to the Cloud District. And I was like, oh, they're going there.
Your reaction is so fun to watch back in the edit, because during the filming of the reaction, obviously I'm like tunnel vision and my attention is here, so I'm not, and you keep your movement very subtle. I know it's hard because you're usually very animated, so it was just like through the eyes, like, is she noticing what's going on? And I'm like, they're being celebrated. What's the proclamation? They're gonna be heroes. They get extra gold, they get a medal, they're a part of the Tal'Dorei Council now. No, it's not that. This is
where the shit hits the fan.
Pretty much. And we've always, and you guys have as well in the comments, speculated that this season would be solely focused on the Briarwoods, and then the next one would be focused on the Chroma Conclave. But because everything is kind of condensed, there is really no like breathing room. It's just kind of like, yeah, we know you just went through a whole like thing, but now we're gonna throw dragons at you. And it's interesting to watch Uriel say, I am going to evocate my throne, and kind of putting the Council of Tal'Dorei up front of it all. But once Vex got that, like, her senses go off, and the only thing that makes
primal
sense,
awareness,
something like that.
I think that's what the spell, or what the ability is called.
Ability.
It's part of Rangers, and when you pick that, you get to pick what your favorite enemy is. So you always attack, I think, with advantage. I have to look back. So anytime you fight that creature,
what's her class?
She's a rogue. Ranger.
Okay.
She's a
her
ranger.
Brother is a rogue.
Yes, but she does end up taking a few levels in ranger.
She multi-class.
Yeah, she multi-class.
Cool. Okay.
Because she wanted to be able to get to that third level of rogue, so she can get assassin. And it's pretty cool. Primeval awareness. Excellent.
Primal
awareness.
So yeah, once that happened, I was like, dragon. And I love how they showed in the animation, and I'm sure this is also due to the way how descriptive Matt is when he's setting up a scene, and we see the sun, they're up at the cloud top, and you just see the wingspan flapping, getting closer to them, and as it gets closer, it splits off, because there's not just one dragon, but I think there's four. Yeah,
four
dragons. And I remember watching back in the edit of during the edit, watching back the episode, and as the dragons kind of flew over the camera, and I got a closer look at their wings, and I was like, Dustin, these are old dragons. And he said,
oh yeah, they're ancient
dragon. I was like, oh, and there's four of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that basically sets up to what we're major cliffhanger, and sets up to what we're about to see happen, because are the dragons about to just like, I don't know, don't answer this. This is just me speaking out loud because I don't want spoilers, but like, are they about to like wreak havoc on the entire...
Oh, just wait until you see.
I mean, I don't want to wait until 2023.
Well, I also, one thing that I do really like about this too, is if this will also allow them to expand the world of, not Wild Mount, Tal'Dorei, a lot more, because of the events that happen in this campaign, where they have to travel to, where they have to go, all of these different objectives and quests and tasks that they have to do to take on this brand new, incredibly dangerous adventure. So I really do hope that they expand it to more than just 12 episodes. You can tell a story arc like the Briarwoods in a 12-episode story arc. I don't think you can do the Chroma Conclave. And I'm pretty sure someone in the chat said, do you think they'll start season 2 right where we left off? I think they'll have a little bit of a buffer, maybe a little bit of like flashback
before the title song comes up, maybe
before the title song comes up, that will set it up. And then after the title song, that's when you'll have the attack.
Yes. Dark Swan 01 writes, I rest my case of dragon poop hitting the fan with ancient dragons coming in. Love that. There was another comment.
About the dragons?
No. I'll know it when I see it, but I can't remember where it is. I'm sorry, guys.
Somewhere out
I'm
there.
sorry.
But yeah,
I can't find it. I lost it.
I'm really curious to see how they do handle season 2. And, you know, the reviews on this show have been really good, have either been good or amazing. I mean, with 100%. Actually, I have not checked what Rotten Tomato is recently.
How dare anyone rate it lower than 100? Let me check.
And I don't know how you could give this show a thumbs down. I can see how you could be like, it's not as great as everyone says it is, but it's still good, kind of a thing. I even had some friends at work. Of course, when I'm at work, I am referring this show to everyone. I'm like, you have to see it. Oh my God. And I completely just geek out at work.
Still at 100%.
Yes, with a 90.
20. How many reviews from critics? It doesn't show me on the phone.
I think it's at the very top underneath. Oh, it's not there.
See score details.
Aha. But I'm recommending it to everyone. And there have been a few people.
94% for audience score.
Where they have been like, I saw it and it was good.
Yeah.
But they weren't like, they didn't love it. And that's, you know what? That's fine. I mean, everyone has their own tastes and their own preferences. And I was like, well, did you also watch Invincible? And they're like, oh yeah, I love that. And then I started talking to them about something like that. Mm-hmm. So honestly, to each their own. I mean, I just know what I like and I love, of course I will talk to your ear off. Case in point about Vox Machina.
It's so good.
It was so good.
It's just so good. So what we're hoping to see in season 2 for the Legend of Vox Machina, obviously I'm about to be, for everybody who hasn't seen the campaign, I'm about to be introduced to the Chroma Conclave. Mm-hmm. Battling dragons, I feel like, is always you're staring at a TPK in the face anytime you deal with the dragon. And then these are 4, plus they're ancient. So I don't even know how our heroes are going to handle it. So I can't wait to find out. My hopes and dreams for season 2 would be that they expand it longer than a 12 episode arc. And again, I don't know if that is the deal and that is just the episode count per season. How many seasons are there for Invincible?
So far,
how many episodes of season 1 of Invincible?
That I would not know. I'd have to go and check it out.
Yeah.
But honestly,
I
think things would just be incredibly rushed with doing just one season of the Chroma Conclave.
Yes.
I think they could probably get halfway through the Chroma Conclave in season 2, and then the rest of the Chroma Conclave would be season 3, and then you can still leave it off with a big cliffhanger in season 3. I mean, at the end of season 2, that will continue the story.
8 episodes for Invincible.
Like maybe if you find out a little bit of history of what happens and what a dire situation they truly are. In the Chroma Conclave. I mean, with the Chroma Conclave at the end of the season, after they've collected some of the vestiges, after they've done some things with some of the other some of these others adventures, but there's just so much material that I cannot see them doing one season and supporting this whole thing. I really do want to see this turned into a 2-season story arc.
Yeah. You guys, let us know what you are hoping to see in season 2. We'd love to read about it. We have this one more super chat here from Bill Stevens. Thank you so much, you guys. Oh gosh, should I attempt you to it?
Frederickstein von Musel Kowalski de Rollo III. Here, please forgive my associate before. And is it really that hard to believe that someone finds me attractive?
Manners, Scanlan.
No, I remember that. Yeah, because I do also like the fact that they start to hint at some of the troubles that Scanlan has in this episode when they're in the acid room. And some of the shenanigans that Scanlan starts to get into. And I can't wait to see more and more of some of the things that Scanlan says to Percy.
Yeah. Sorry, I have a cut on my elbow. And
like I don't want to give it. I don't want to give any of it away because it's really funny. Is it really? What is it? What is the line? Please forgive. I want to bring it back up.
Oh, here I got it.
Please forgive my associate before. And is it truly hard to believe that someone finds me attractive? I love that line.
That's great. Hopefully they'll animate that and we can watch that play out in animation.
I still want to see that bathtub scene though.
Oh my God, the bathtub scene. I know about it and I want it. That's all we're going to say.
I showed you the animation for
and
that.
I'm
kind of working on something here. I thought he would never leave.
All right. So Matthew writes, LOL, manners. Can't wait for that potion and host scene. And then let's see here. Just seeing what you guys are hoping to see and the things that they will do for season 2. Mariana says, yeah, I hope they split the Chroma Conclave into 2 seasons. Thierry also kind of echoes that thought. I hope they split the Chroma Conclave arc between 2 seasons. There's just so much to cover. Many of you are sharing the same sentiment. Yeah, even Debbie here says there is no way that they can get the Vestiges and defeat the dragons in 12 episodes. Seems like a lot to cover in 12 episodes. And again, you don't want to cram too much in, so...
And I also really want to see Matt's gunpowder character. If you know who I'm talking about, where Percy gets the gunpowder from. Oh my gosh, that character is so funny. He dressed up as that character for Halloween once.
Ah, that's awesome.
When he first brings out this character, no one could keep a straight face. It's kind of like the two mimosa moment, and everyone's
two
just
mimosas?
like they could not. They could because Matt just gets into it.
Two mamas. Let's see. Gal writes the movie couple Trinket. Yes, more Trinket. Just a little bit more Trinket.
Trinket was in like
just a little bit.
They took him out for half of the season.
Yeah, I feel like it was like beginning and the end.
Yeah,
just cameos, little cameo. I wanna see Trinket do some damage.
So, but there's still so much good stuff to come.
Yes.
I really do think that this was just to set everything up. And now Critical Role is just like, hey, we know it's successful. You know people love it. Let us have more freedom to do what we want. Because I think as soon as you guys start getting in, like soon as Amazon starts trying to put their finger to get involved, too many chefs in the kitchen kind of a thing, that's when things might fall apart. And with so far, so many victories under their belt, they were able to crowdfund themselves. They were able to write it themselves. It was a huge success, raving critical reviews, that they now have a lot of leverage to be like, yeah, let us do what we want. We have proven that we can give you a success.
They were like trending number 3 the last I checked on Prime Video. Keep watching, guys. Let's push them to number 1.
Keep watching, everyone. Rewatch.
Just leave it on. Just leave it on in the background.
Leave it on repeat.
Let's see. Vincent writes, is the conclave arc tied to Keyleth's Aramente and Signor? With Vex
Signor.
Signor. Signor?
I don't want to tell you what that is.
Okay, but am I at least pronouncing it correctly?
I'm not pronouncing it correctly.
How do I pronounce it?
Singorn. It's the way they say it is Singorn is closer.
Okay.
With Vex and Vax.
If so, I can understand about season 2 being
because split. The reason why they have to go into the Feywild is because of that.
Oh, I see.
And I don't want to say anything else because that's going to ruin some things. If so, I can understand about 2 seasons being, they have to, because there's that story. There's, the Chroma Conclave. I mean, the Chroma Conclave, there's the Armente, there's Singorn, and it is a huge story arc. Like someone had mentioned, 45 sessions in Vox, in campaign 1 is solely dedicated to that. So there's a lot of stuff to cover.
And then a couple of you guys, I don't want to go into too much into this one because spoilers, so I'm just going to mention it, but a few of you say Victor. And then let's see if any other ones.
So Loxodon Hair, very, very bottom.
Okay.
45 4-hour sessions. That is a lot.
It's a long time. It is a long time. Okay.
So,
I think.
But yeah, I'm just excited. I'm bummed that we have to wait like an entire year to get it. Know. But between now and then, we can review.
Which we don't even know because technically they haven't announced an exact date.
And they've actually have.
And I think it's smart that they don't, though.
Yeah.
Because then we're not expecting it and looking forward. And then if they need more time to work on it or something, then they can have the time to take the time to do that.
Yeah.
You know, so who knows how close they are to being done. But we know it takes a long time to, you know, go from adapt it from stream gameplay to screenplay to turn it into an animation plus putting it, you know, with to add the voices to it and the music and all of that stuff. Takes a lot of work. So we can't wait to see. Steven says 1 year would be so fast. I expect 2 years at least. No.
Well, here's the thing. Actually, I can defend. Make it seem like they've known that they're going to do a season 2 for a while. Before Vox Machina even released, they knew that they were going to do a season 2. They got when they said that, hey, it's going to be on Amazon, and a season 2 has already been purchased.
Yeah.
So they've known that it's been coming for a while. The announcement that a season 2 is coming, and I'm actually just waiting for them to announce a season 3.
Yeah. So that would be the ultimate news.
Yes.
Like, I don't even care when season 2 comes out. I don't think it's going to take them 2 years because, like you said, they've already known, so they've been actively working on it. I feel like it's maybe a little bit harder because of the pandemic, and you know it's harder to gather in like a large group. But I assume that they've been working on it, so I don't feel like it's 2023 doesn't seem to be that much of a stretch. But of course, if they need more time to work on it to deliver a good product, then by all means I will wait. But the ultimate announcement that I'm waiting for is like season 3. Like we're gonna give you season 3, we're gonna give you season 4, and hopefully that'll lead us to, hey, guess what? We're gonna give you now have the Legend of Vox Machina. Here is the Legend of the Mighty Nine. Oh, I can't wait for that. That would be a super fun one because I really enjoyed watching that entire stream. All right, you guys, we have been streaming for about an hour and a half. We are so happy to have a place where we can talk to all of you guys, whether you're a new critter, if you're a longtime critter, whether even if you're not a critter at all, who cares? That we get to talk the Legend of Vox Machina with you guys. It's been so much fun doing all the reactions. It is up on our channel, so if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell. It is on a whole playlist, so you can watch all the 12 episodes of reaction, plus our reaction to the Red Band trailer that they dropped at the very beginning, and the reveal of the voice cast. So that is in the playlist for you guys. And as far as reaction goes, because I know a lot of you guys are new subscribers and you subscribed because we were doing the Vox Machina reactions. I think the next thing we're focusing on, first we're going to finish Cobra Kai. We're 4 episodes away. We got to finish that. We would like to jump on Arcane. So if that's something you would like to watch, we hope that you will stick around. And nonetheless, you guys, thank you so much for your support. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for all the super chats today. We love you guys. We can't wait to do reactions to season 2 of The Legend of Vox Machina. So we will definitely see you then. But
in the meantime, we're going to have a whole bunch of other things coming out.
All right, you guys, we love you. We hope you have the rest of your Saturday, a great rest of your Saturday.
And a happy weekend, too.
And a happy weekend. Rest, recharge, do what you got to do. And we will catch you guys on the next live or in the next video. Bye, everybody.